It was time to open the Christmas presents. My niece grabbed the one I had brought for her. As soon as she opened the box, she looked at me, laughed, and said, "An iPad mini? That's it?" Then she pushed the gift back toward me. I stood there for a few seconds, trying to stay calm. Then I got up, walked to the tree, and started gathering all the presents I had brought myself. 16 packages in total. I put everything in my car without saying a word. My father raised his voice and said I was overreacting. I calmly replied that I wasn't, and that the next morning at 9 o'clock, I would stop paying for the household expenses. He didn't say another word. When I arrived at my parents' house that morning, I already knew how it would go. Every Christmas felt the same, crowded, noisy, full of expectations that no one ever met. My mother would try to make everything look perfect. My sister would show up late with her perfect family and act like she was doing everyone a favor by being there. And I'd play my usual role, the one who pays for everything, the one who keeps things running even though no one ever thanks me. I'd brought 16 gifts that year. I counted them twice before leaving the house. It wasn't about showing off. It was about making sure everyone felt remembered. I had spent weeks choosing each one carefully. Something thoughtful for everyone, even for my niece, who had turned 12 and already acted like a celebrity. I bought her an iPad mini, not because I thought she deserved it, but because my sister had hinted that everyone in her class already has one. When I placed the gifts under the tree, my mother smiled, relieved, like I'd just solved one of her problems. No one asked how I'd been. No one asked how much that must have cost. They never do. Lunch was loud. My father complained about politics, my sister about her husband's work schedule, and my niece scrolled on her phone while everyone else tried to get her attention. I sat there, eating quietly, already counting the hours until I could go home. Then came the presents. My niece rushed toward the pile as if it was a race. She found the one with her name on it, ripped the paper apart, and when she saw what was inside, she looked at me, laughed, and said, "An iPad mini? That's it?" The room went silent. She pushed the box back toward me like it was some cheap mistake. I don't remember what expression I had, but I know everyone was watching. My sister laughed awkwardly. My mother said something like, "She didn't mean it that way," but the words didn't matter. What I felt was heavier than embarrassment. It was the kind of exhaustion that builds over years of being taken for granted. I stood up slowly. No one said a thing as I walked to the tree. I started collecting the other gifts I had brought, the ones still wrapped, the ones people hadn't even touched yet. 16 packages. My hands were shaking, but not from anger. It was more like a deep calm, the kind that comes when you finally stop pretending. My mother asked what I was doing, her voice unsteady. My father raised his voice and said I was overreacting. I didn't look at him. I just said, "I'm not." I took the gifts to my car, one trip at a time. The cold air outside felt cleaner than the air inside that house. My heart was beating so fast it almost hurt, but I didn't turn back. When I closed the trunk, it sounded final, like something had ended right there in the driveway. When I went back in, my father stood up. He was angry, his face red, his jaw tight. He told me to sit down and stop making a scene. I told him calmly that I wasn't making a scene, that the next morning, at 9 o'clock, I'd stop paying for the household expenses. He didn't say another word after that. No one did. My mother just stared at the floor. My sister picked up her daughter's gift from the floor, looking embarrassed but not enough to apologize. My niece looked confused, like she couldn't understand why the world wasn't revolving around her anymore. I walked out of the house without saying goodbye. On the drive home, my hands finally started shaking for real. I'd been paying for their groceries, their electricity, their internet, all of it, for almost 5 years, ever since my father retired early and my mother's health got worse. It had started as a temporary thing, just until they got back on their feet. But they never did. They just got comfortable, and I let them. That night,
Click the link in my profile to watch the exciting follow-up.